Amphibia, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you more than I thought I was gonna love you. Why? You're hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Amphibia is this new cartoon on Disney Channel, and oh my goodness, it's doing it so right. Ugh, I'm not gonna say it's Gravity Falls reborn because Gravity Falls is its own beast, its own animal, its own flavor completely. But this show has the boldness that Gravity Falls started out with. And I'm happy that there's a show, taking its lead without being its duplicate. Even though it's the same animating company and all the characters look like Gravity Falls and The Loud House and even Family Guy a little bit to me, that's okay because it's just so funny and I like the characters very, very, very much. The characters are about this one human girl who got magically transported into a town of frogs. And no, it's not that she was shrunk down and, there are anthropomorphic creatures living in her backyard. That's not it. It's just this mutant world of human-sized frogs who still are very froggy. It's a beautiful cartoon edition. And I don't really care about frogs, but I'm getting real enjoyment out of this swamp town. And this town is crazy, okay? Even though frogs are usually the creatures that eat bugs, and they do, there are lots of instances where frogs are just grabbing flies and such with their tongues, this world is weirdly messed up because there are lots of monsters that would, some are supposed to be bigger than frogs, some are supposed to be smaller than frogs. It's very confusing and gross and honestly kind of terrifying at some points because, yeah, the animators chose to make some parts adorable and some parts weirdly accurate. Yeah, so it's kind of a cringy show at points, but it doesn't stop being funny at any time. Yes, it has those silly little moral of the story kind of days at the end where the characters learn to listen to each other and all that nonsense. But in between, they are throwing all kinds of snark and randomness and just hilarious lines, and that is what I stay for. Let's see, you have Anne, who is this very spunky, funky Thai girl, and yeah, she is just does not quit. It's not the annoying she's so happy and wants to do everything and help everybody sort of thing. It's more of that she has never really heard no before, and even when she does, she will fight through it, sneak around your back, and do it anyway. She's kind of that friend who's a little mean at times, but you just have the most fun hanging out with. So yeah, I really like that about her. Also, I got a lot of feelings from that cat episode. God, so many feelings. I know the pet love, it's real, and it was portrayed so adorable in that episode. God. And honestly, surprisingly, her best points are not when she's hanging out with her buddy Sprig, who is just this adorable little Elfo meets Bo kind of character, and he's pink like Timmy Turner. He's a really, really sweet kid. No, Anne's great moments are when she's fighting and or trying to get along with Hop Hop or Pop Hop. Pop Hop? Hop Pop. The Froggy Grandpa. Okay, the Froggy Grandpa is strict without being too much of a... No, he is a stickler, but he's not a mean strict as much as he is a firm strict. And yeah, him and Anne go back and forth with, where I come from, back in my day. Yeah, they're... It's not that Anne's an adult, she's just a young teenage woman who is not his kid, but still under his roof. And yeah, she is giving him a run for his money. But he's broke. But that's not even the funniest part. It's just sort of like a young woman versus an old man kind of thing. It reminds me a little bit of Foster Son from Imaginary Friends, where Frankie was always arguing with her boss, Mr. Harriman. And Mr. Harriman was a ridiculous rabbit who was way too strict for almost the silliest things. But we've all had that boss one time before. And while I think Frankie is more, of a higher ground, that's because she was in her 20s. And, she was more honest of a person. Yeah, and she just was frustrated at the dumbness of her job. Anne is just more of the, I'm in a brave new world and I am taking life head on, don't care about the rules kind of thing. Frankie was just, a normal woman trying to get through her busy day. It doesn't make one less than the other, it's a slightly different flavor while still having the same very funny dynamic. Well, theirs was more of a work relationship, Anne and Hop Pop are more of a family trying to get along thing. It's very funny. It doesn't get old. It just keeps going and going. And just some of the lines they have in this show are ridiculous and crazy. Like in one episode, Anne was trying to teach the frogs how to cook pizza. And so they go to the baker and he's like, if you want my dough, the boy has to marry my daughter. And Anne's like, we accept. And this little child is like sticking a pin in a little doll of Sprig, and he's like, we'll probably be happy together. And later in the episode, the baker's like, that's my son-in-law. Hi, honey. It's so weird. And in the same episode, because of losing a town potluck contest, the frog family has to be in a cage, and Anne's like, oh, you crazy guys, make some room for me. It's like, they're all just happy sitting in a cage together. The show has a very weird sense of humor, and I love it for that. So I think the show is great. I think lots of people have to watch it. I don't think the grosser parts of the show are for everybody. There's a lot of nastiness, and maybe they're not good role models because Anne is so damn snarky, and yeah, there are a lot of really dark pieces of humor in this show, so maybe it's not for everybody, but it's kind of reminding me of Courage the Cowardly Dog or Edda and Eddie, where it just goes there with its weirdness. So I think it's a good show. I think people who like animation and like laughing would really like this show. So I recommend Amphibia. I really, really do. I think it's great.